I'm Adam Levin, author of Swiped, and welcome to the Pavlina Show.
Hey everyone, it's Pavlina from the Pavlina Show, and I am here in New York City at Barnes & Noble, and I am here with identity theft expert and author of the amazing book, Swiped, Adam Levin. How are you doing?
I am so excited, and thank you so much for asking me to do an interview. This is great.
Yes, of course. Thank you for being here and everything. First of all, congratulations. You sold out on the books and everything here. This is great.
As we were talking about earlier, the two greatest words you can hear is sold out unless it's a concert.
Exactly. Really, that is so true. Okay, so what is the chance of identity theft? What is the chances that people will have that?
Oh, I think the problem is that it's almost inevitable that you're going to become a victim of identity theft or of multiple instances of identity theft during your lifetime because breaches have become the third certainty in life.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember I was on an airplane and I was watching Mr. Robot, and that's how I got introduced to this whole hacking thing. I was I knew I heard of it and everything. And then I saw your poster here and then I looked into this and it was this is crazy. This is very scary stuff. So I recently read one of the Huffington Post articles that was written about you, and a lot of kids are getting their social security numbers out there, and they're getting identity theft, stuff with that. So how do you protect, your social security number? Because I figured that was, just, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you can do everything right.
Yeah.
You can shred, you can have your secure devices, you can not give your information to people you don't know, you can not carry your social security card, you can carry maybe one credit and debit card, but if you're on the wrong database at the wrong moment and the wrong person gains unauthorized access, you could become a victim of identity theft. And the problem is there's nothing you can do to stop it. You can minimize your risk of exposure, you can monitor, you can manage the damage, but in terms of anyone ever telling you it's preventable, it's really not. Now, maybe in the future, when we have more biometrics and it's much tougher authentication standards than we have now, maybe. But for the foreseeable future, you're going to be a victim.
Well, geez, Adam, way to make me feel better. Okay, I feel so much better now. Thanks.
Well, the important thing is to be prepared,
Yeah.
is to know what to look for, to know how to be able to detect as quickly as possible there's an issue, and to have a plan.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize you do have a plan. It may be through your insurance, it may be through your financial institution, it may be where you work. There are programs available to help people through identity incidents. But a lot of companies don't really publicize it that well that they offer this. So ask your insurance agent, ask your financial institution, ask the HR department where you work. Do you have a program to help me if I'm a victim of identity theft? Am I already in it? If not, what do I need to do to get in it? Is it free? A lot of them are. Or is it going to cost me any money? Then you make a decision once you know.
What can college kids do to protect their identities?
Well, the first thing is be very careful about who you give your information to. Now, of course, in the old days, a lot of universities used to use your social security number as your student ID number. More and more of them are now moving away from that and creating unique identifiers. But as a student, check with the Student Affairs office at your university because they may well have a program available to help you, or they can direct you to the right place. And the other problem is that, in a university, it's an extremely open environment. People are used to sharing ideas and getting out there and not even thinking about they live in environments where there are people that see their mail, see their bills, and they don't think about it. But you really need to worry about it because identity theft among friends is much higher than you'd think. And if a friend of yours is going through a rough patch and they need extra money, you never know. So it's important to protect your information. It's important to also just do simple things like check your bank account or your credit card account just a couple minutes a day. Or if you don't want to do that, sign up for what's called transactional alerts with your bank or your credit card company where they notify you anytime there's activity in your accounts. And that's a good thing because you may see things that they don't see. So if you see the transactions, you go, well, it happened around the corner, but it wasn't me. And then you notify your bank, you notify your credit card company, and they do something about it. The other thing, as a student, if you're going to shop online, a lot of students do, don't use a debit card. Use a credit card. Because remember, with a debit card, it's your money. With a credit card, It's their money. And even with a debit card, if the bank says, you know what, you're right, you were a victim of some form of identity theft or account takeover, it may take them a few days to get the money back. And if you need that money for food or for groceries or for your car payments or your rent, you could be in a difficult situation.
Wow, I did not know that, especially like online shopping, which I'm pretty sure everyone online, we just had Cyber Monday, okay? Like, so I didn't know that there was a difference between using a debit and credit card. That's crazy.
No, there really is. The other thing is use a separate email address for your online transactions and try to use a separate credit card for your online transactions, because then if you do get compromised, you'll be able to contain the damage. Yeah. Now, of course, with a credit card, the easy part is you make a phone call, they change your number. With a debit card, you make a phone call, they change your number, except because the debit card is the pathway into your bank account. You need to keep looking, because if it takes you too long to notify the bank that there's been a compromise of your bank account, your liability could go up and up. So it's very important to keep track of that.
A lot of social media, and you were talking about this in your speech and everything, so people put everything out there, okay? Like, I'm pretty sure I told like 10 people that, I'm going to be in Barnes & Noble right now. Social media, everything goes out there. How can you protect yourself that way?
Well, first of all, try not to tell everyone everything. And, there's something fascinating that happens with people. When they go online, they suddenly feel like they're invincible. Yeah. And there are certain things that if I look you in the eye and tell you it, you're going to do an eye roll and you're going to walk away. But if I do it online, you may not. For some reason, it just seems more real. People seem more honest when they're online. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people that really aren't. So a few takeaways. Always disable your geolocation services on your phone, because the problem is that there will be a code in that photograph unless the site scrambles. Some of the social networking sites scramble the information, some don't. But if it's not scrambled, someone who's very clever can look at that photograph, click on properties, and know where it was taken. Yeah. And if you're showing them your new car, your stereo, your new piece of art, not only do they know where it is, but they can figure out what to drive over there and take it away in, because you've given them the information. Plus, if you tell everybody where you are, how long you're going to be gone, when you're coming back, you're also telling people where you're not. Yeah. And the other thing is, as a young person, they have all these quizzes online. I love these quizzes, I got to do it. What they don't understand is when you answer these quiz questions, you are giving up a lot of information that oftentimes is used as the answers to security questions. Mm-hmm. So somebody just sits back and gathers it. For instance, when Apple was breached and the celebrity photographs were released, many of them very compromising, it wasn't some super sophisticated hack where someone came in the back door and they knew all kinds of code. They had just sat back and they watched all the information that was out there about celebrities, their likes, their dislikes, their birth date, all of the different major events in their lives. They basically collected that, and then they put it in a computer, and they brute forced their way in by going in the front door of Apple. And in those days, Apple didn't have a system where you try 3 times and it locked you out. Yeah. You could try, and you could keep trying till you got the right login information. The other thing, do not use simple passwords. Yeah. Do not use passwords who people who know you would know. Be clever. Also, when you answer security questions, you just have to be consistent. You don't have to tell the truth. So invent a different maiden name for your mother. Or if they ask you where you went to high school, say you went to Krypton High or something. All that matters is you remember the answers to the security questions, not that they're going to do this massive investigative process to say, is this person telling the truth? Yeah,
exactly. And I know a lot of people, can't remember all the passwords to Facebook and Twitter and, everything else. So they do that auto lock thing, the password fill in or whatever. Is that a good idea? Or what should we do to?
Well, I suggest to people you come up with a system. Okay. And one of the ways is, pick your favorite lyrics to a song. Use that as the core of your password. Maybe the first letter of each of the words to those lyrics, and have some in capitals, some in lowercase. Instead of an I, have an exclamation point. Instead of an S, use a $sign. Instead of an O, use a 0. And then put a couple letters in front that remind you of the website, and then a couple numbers in back that you'll remember, but try to make sure they're numbers who people who know you wouldn't automatically think of when they think of what numbers you may be associated with.
Wow, that's a really good point. Very cool. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Oh, and one last thing, and that is, a lot of us download apps into our smartphones. And first, research the app to make sure it's a legitimate app and not a phishing scam by someone. And the second thing is, don't save either your user ID or your password as part of that app. Because if someone gets a hold of your phone and that app is effectively running because you've saved it, you're opening up your life to somebody, and you don't need to do that. It may take a couple extra seconds in order for you to actually type it in, but you'll be very happy at the end. Don't let convenience trump security.
Yes, that's true. And, it's so funny. Like, I was setting up my phone or whatever, and my mom was like, why do you need, like, a password on your phone? Just let it go. And I was like, well, what if I lose my phone? Then everyone has access to it.
And that's why you should also have, not only don't use 1234 or 9876, but also have software that can remotely wipe the information on your phone in the event it's lost or stolen.
Does Find My iPhone does that? Does it do that? Okay.
It helps you locate it, and then there's a part of it that actually helps you wipe the information out.
Wow. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Well, thank you for asking, and stay safe.